All right, today's lesson is going to be about psychological warfare, aka PSYOPs. The definition of psychological warfare is it's a tactic to influence, manipulate, or weaken an opponent's decision making, morale, or perception of reality. And this specific tactic, called psychological warfare, is typically used by military, governments, politics or politicians, corporations, and even individual people in personal situations. There are 6 main components of psychological warfare. The first one is manipulation of your perception. So, controlling how you see the reality in spite of facts and evidence. Manipulation of perception is often guided by misinformation, the provocation of fear, and persuasion. The second feature of psychological warfare is emotional and psychological pressure. This entails using fear or confusion or guilt or your insecurities to weaken your resistance to the force of compliance. So, the emotional and psychological pressure of fear, guilt, and just using your emotions against you to weaken your ability to resist compliance with something that is out of alignment with actual reality. The third feature of psychological warfare is the exploitation of your weaknesses. So, an opponent will identify your weaknesses and your vulnerabilities. For example, your lack of resources, your inability to be able to pay for things. So, like possibly putting you in a legal battle, knowing that you're not able to pay for it. Or another example is using something in your past in order to control your behavior, to make you be quiet, to make you not want to experience the backlash or the consequences of your past trauma or your past issues, whatever, being revealed and exposed to the public. And the public could be the world, a world stage. The public could be your friends and your family. It's just people that you would not want to know or be in the mix of things that you might have done, said, or whatever. So they use this to control you, to silence you, and to make you comply. The next feature of psychological warfare is misinformation and deception. So, an example of this would be intentionally misleading the people to believe that they are going to do something that they're not going to do. So, selling you on a point that you like and that you love, that you want to see happen, and then ultimately not delivering on the things that they promised. It can also look like spreading around information that's just absolutely not true in order to make you feel a particular way about the thing that they're spreading the information about. An example of this is saying that a person that you believe in, or saying that a person that you align with their thought patterns, saying that they have done something or been involved in something that is completely untrue. The fifth feature of psychological warfare is isolation and gaslighting. So, making a person or a group question their reality by controlling information and social influence. So, an example of this is censorship. Another example of this is eliminating third parties or things that bring people together in order to be able to socialize and share information amongst each other. The ideal of this is to keep people from influencing each other and gathering together in order to see the truth for the way that it really is. The last feature of psychological warfare is intimidation and fear tactics. And with this, they use threats, real or perceived, to force someone into submission or obedience. Now, we know that as sovereign beings, domination over another person is outside of the will of God, and it is a contradiction, or it is against your personal agency. It's against your personal agency and your free will. Now, let's talk about the tools of psychological warfare. One very powerful and popular tool is propaganda campaigns. This could look like controlled leaks or rumors to create division and paranoia. This creates the confusion necessary to impede or to stop mobilization or movement or backlash or response from the object that is being psychologically attacked. In personal relationships, this tool can look like narcissistic behavior. It could look like someone telling you that what you have experienced or what you have seen is not what it is, or the conclusion that you have come to, although it may be true, is incorrect. Now, this one is most effective because most people do not believe that a person would go to the lengths or the extent to which a manipulator will go in order to control the narrative and the reality. They will go. So the average person cannot fathom how far someone with narcissistic tendencies will go in order to control the reality and make it go in their favor. The last tool that I'm going to discuss about psychological warfare is actual physical instruments used to inject thoughts and emotions into your body. While the other tools are effective alone, sometimes they're not enough if the will of the people is strong enough to come together and to overcome the lies that they have been told. So this particular tool, if people come together and they are on one accord and the person or the opponent wants to break down the integrity that these people have developed, what they will do is they will use these tools to inject thoughts and voices and messages into the brain to make you think that you are having these thoughts on your own. It is used to destabilize the human by way of making an individual feel like they are losing their minds. Yeah. However, you can defend against this particular weapon only if you are physically prepared to resist outside forces they may be trying to violate or intrude upon your energy. I will have you know that we have an entire system set up to help you prepare your body and your mind to resist such attacks. In the GodstyleBilal Media magazine that was published for the month, I created a newsletter to give you a step-by-step instruction on how to prepare your vessel to resist and to be strong enough to fight off the psychological attacks that may be here or that may be coming as weapons of psychological warfare are being released on the public. I apologize for speaking so slowly, but I'm trying to be very careful with my words. With that said, please make sure that you go sign up for the free issue so that you can have your own copy of the layout of how to protect yourself against psychological warfare. Please read the newsletter. In addition to the free issue, if you want a more extensive format or layout of how to protect your energy, I have created the book, Become Untouchable, Energetic Immunity. As much as I would love to give you that resource for free, the resources that will be given in exchange for that book is what is going to sustain the operations of this nonprofit organization called the GodstyleBilal Experience. I'm not sure if I'm going to have to mobilize. I don't know what I'm going to have to do. So I'm asking that you guys please donate to the nonprofit organization by using the links in the description box below, or just by clicking on www.godstylebilal.com and going to the little button that says gifts, tributes, or donations. It says something like that. You'll see it. As I said before, the limited amount of resources is a tactic used to keep people silent. So I'm asking that you guys send in your donations so that that is not our issue as we are trying to protect our energy and to protect our rights. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments below, or you can reach out to me privately through an email, and I will continue to do my part to walk you through this dark forces and villain era that we all knew was coming because I told you so. I love you, and I'll catch you in the next one.